My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Slay the Spire Modded, where the stack has yet again been updated. I've re-included Infinite Spire, that is here, by Blank the Evil and contributed to by the Evil Pickle. A new way to climb the Spire forever. You complete quests along the way, and you gotta be careful because the Spire is not kind to those who do not give up. Now, Infinite Spire has been modified in such a fashion as to not necessitate that you play an endless run. You can just choose to not do it endlessly, and effectively, what it provides for a non-endless run is just a quest log of things that you can accomplish and you get gold for. It's kind of cool like that. As well as a couple relics, and I think a couple of events in the base game as well. And then on top of that, I've also added Mystic Mod by Johnny Devo. In particular, I didn't have this in the previous stack because I was not yet intending on playing it. The Mystic itself, as far as I'm aware, does not add any relics into the base game outside of the Mystic character, whereas the Construct does add relics into the base game outside of its own character. So I had the Construct installed from the get-go, but I was only going to install the Mystic when I decided to play the character in particular, and that's not going to be this episode. It is the Defect. We're going by standard rotation: Ironclad, Silent, Defect, Construct, etc. And a large amount of the reason that we're doing that is because I believe both Hubris and Black Mod include, and Replay the Spire obviously, include items and relics for the base characters. So, speaking thereof, let's go with the Defect. Again, all of these mods, each and every single one of them, including the Mod the Spire launcher, can be found linked to in the description down below. And also, go and send some love to the people who created the mods. I tend to try and lurk around their communities, specifically the unsupported modding channel in the Slay the Spire official Discord. They're just lovely people. Okay. Random colorless. Random colorless, 3 random cards for a random rare relic. Let's see how many shops we have on this floor, as well as what our quest log is. So the quest log from here is to pick up Scrape Darkness Overclock. So I actually kind of want to pick up Darkness and Old Nail Lantern Potion Belt, but they're all relics, right? I kind of want to pick up Darkness. I want an updated Darkness Defect run. Remove 5 cards, kill 3 muggers, 1 turn kill an elite. 1 turn kill an elite, that's kind of, like, Darkness is a little bit antithetical to that. Okay. I'm gonna go with a swap relic, actually. Interesting. Runic Pyramid, at the end of your turn, you no longer discard your hand. Interesting. I think we actually play the game by base normally, but anytime we see double energy, we take it, and anytime we see Tempest, we take it. And then eventually, we just wait for a turn where we play double energy, Tempest, win. That's what I'm predicting. Double energy, like, combo cards are now much more effective, so Amplify and Powers, in particular, are also a totally reasonable idea. We'll see what comes to us. Hell yeah. I can double defend single attack because I can just wait for a turn the Acid Slime's not attacking. Thanks to retaining my entire hand. We're going to be holding a couple of our cards. So our deck, and consequently both deck draw and discard piles are going to be smaller than average because we're going to be holding a couple of cards in our hand every turn, so the aggregate's less valuable than otherwise. High tier draw, which would be, you know, Compile Driver plus Chaos or something like that, right? The ability to draw a lot of things is garbage in a deck that retains a lot of cards but doesn't have the energy to play them yet. So obviously I want the energy to play my cards in my next hand, so charge battery is obvious. Like, I started that whole speech knowing where I was going at the end. Most of the... Most of the time I start a sentence not knowing where I'm going at the end, and I kind of lead myself way over the course of it, right? The thing I was laughing at was I was just quickly looking over at the Mod the Spire launcher, and the last text that it has is update body text, update body text, update body text, update body text. So I'm guessing that that's relating to the fact that the World of Goop is from the base game, and base mod is trying to reference it as a custom event just because base mod says looking for custom events and then immediately follows from that after a couple different loading text lines is update body text, update body text, update body text. This is harkening back to a couple episodes ago where I was referencing the update body text event that was included as part of Hubris. And from my somewhat stalking, I call it lurking, but it's a bit stalking, on the unsupported modding subreddit, I'm aware that I was close. Whatever the actual origin is, I was apparently very close. Which I'm very happy about. Randomize my starter relic. What starter relic? If I take that, but I've already lost my starter relic, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna reload the game, because I want to know what happens. He can't change it for me, of course. Upon pickup, replace your starter relic with a random starter relic. Okay, so this works when you, or rather, you know, quote unquote works. It doesn't swap a relic that is not a starter relic. Good. Ooh, I don't know where this is from. A strange monkey swinging from place to place stops to hang out. Hey, there, want to see something cool? The monkey stares at you from a distance and begins visibly mutating. Look, fight for a special relic. Obviously. You are the trickster monkey. You seem to be based on the gremlin knob. You've got some sort of item in your hand. I'm going to charge battery for the extra energy next turn because you're buffing this turn. I have no clue what this is. Haha, see me now? I don't know what that's a reference to. You've got like a little glint at the back of your head. Unless that's like a color, like a color shift, like a hue shift version of the gremlin knob, and then they just cut the horn, and the little yellow, sorry, the little pink there is just the tip of the horn, color shifted. Unless that's the case, then that kind of looks like a brain, the back of their head. All right. Thinking double defense strike. I can dual cast at any time. The only opportunity cost is I cannot redraw dual cast while I'm holding dual cast. You're gonna debuff me this turn. Banana bash. So weaken me by 2 this turn. Okay. Thankfully, the lightning is doing my damage while I'm not doing it personally. And now I'm no longer weakened, so I can go on the offensive. Cool. There's the weaken again. So basically, if you have reasonable defense early, this Trickster Monkey is not a problem. But I guess it's just not a problem for the defect, because the defect has the capability of dishing damage while they're not actually focusing on damage, which is unique to the defect in the base deck, right? If the Silent had poison in their base deck, then they would also have access to the same thing, but they don't. That's one of the reasons the defect is the most powerful out of the base characters against the Lark of Woolen. Monkey's Toy Box. So this is from Black Mod. I'm just going to say Black single CK mod from now on rather than Black Mod, because I'm not Jossa, so I actually can't pronounce Jossa correctly. It's like Ossa, I think. What I'm saying is that my language does not include the phonemes of clicks. So, in particular, is just an odd thing to do in English. But in South African Xhosa, it's not. Or Xhosa. Upon pickup, obtain 3 common relics. That's cool. Empty bin. At the end of your turn, exhaust all common cards in your hand and then gain 4 block for each. That's like the thinnest, deckest, daddiest thing of all time. Here's Darkness is the problem, right? The thing that I actually want to take versus Empty Bin. Empty Bin would actually, like, currently exhaust my entire deck. I'm gonna take Darkness. And then I also get to claim 102 gold as a result. Monkey's Toy Box. We got Soldering Iron. In Australian English in particular, we pronounce this as soldering iron, but I grew up on Mythbusters and... oh god, what was it called? It was called Brainiac or something? It was like a series of other kind of Mythbuster-ish incarnations for different countries. I believe Brainiac was its version in the UK. But the reason I mentioned that is because those tend to say soldering over soldering. We say soldering, but I say soldering because I grew up on that kind of media. Start each combat with 1 additional orb slot. That's like a really I guess it's a common relic, right? But it's a super weak version of Runic Capacitor, which starts you with 3 additional orb slots. There aren't that many things in the base game that tread over the same area in terms of relics, right? Like Vajra gives you 1 strength. If Girya gave you 3 strength straight up, it would be treading on the same area as Soldering Iron and Runic Capacitor, or Soldering Iron rather than Runic Capacitor. Sorry, Force of Habit. Meteor is just, it gets into your head. You know what? Frankly, I kind of hope it does, because I hope the way that I speak has ruined some of your speech as well. Because I say things wrong, and I just hope that one time, one person has said something wrong and gone, why did I say that way? Oh, because I watched that video. Anyway, it's trading on the same ground as Runic Capacitor, and that's a weird thing. That's a thing that doesn't happen in the base game. Smiling Math Merchant's card removal service now always costs 50 gold, and a satchel, also from Infinite Spire, at the end of your turn, retain 1 card. It is not retain 1 random card, it's important to note, it's retain 1 card. Also, this seems to have not worked on exit, so... is there anything else I can do to force the screen to come up? Oh no, I can actually... Hey, never mind. It was actually in my brain that wasn't working. As unbelievable as that is. Alright. Darkness builds are actually super obviously great with this, right? Because dual cast, you can just hold it until the right time to play it. Same with multicast. Shadow Call. It is channel 1 Dark Exhaust. How are you better than the others? Oh, it's channel 1 Dark. I think it is 1, but that's not moved over. It seems to be channel 1 for 0. That's kind of a good way to bootstrap a dark build, I guess. I'll take it. Yeah. We're gonna need the vulnerability on the Gremlin Knob because this could become bad. Now, unfortunately, we've already got a Lightning Orb channeled, which means that every orb we channel after this point needs to be evoked after the Lightning Orb. I'm going to play 2 skills there. That's 4 strength for the Gremlin Knob, but ultimately, I think it's going to be important. So 12, 24, 24 plus 18. 24 plus 18 is 32, 42. Okay, so we're short on lethal here. But I have to use both of the strikes this turn because it's the final turn the Gremlin Knob is vulnerable. And then I can kill next turn. Omamori, negate the next two curses you obtain. Not bad. I really want to do a Claw deck. I think it's Replay the Spire that has Claw Rake as a card. It's 2 energy, effectively casts Claw across the entire, like it's AoE Claw, if I recall correctly. I'm not entirely certain on this, by the way. But I think it's basically like AoE Claw, and it counts as a Claw card for the sake of all of the other Claws as well. Deal 5 damage for Eat Light. This doesn't make sense. What? What? Deal 6 damage for each lightning you currently have channeled. In the base game, there's a card called Barrage that is common. This is uncommon. That is deal 4 damage for each orb you currently have channeled. That upgrades to deal 6 damage for each orb you have currently have channeled. So this is like a more specific version of that? There might be something I'm not understanding about this. I'm assuming that currently have channeled is talking about the ones that you have active currently, rather than deal 6 for each lightning you have channeled. Otherwise, why is currently there, right? Because Lightning Storm, or Lightning Strike, or whatever it's called. I think it's called Lightning Strike. Thunderstrike. No, it's Thunderstrike. The 3 energy rare card for the defect is deal, I think, 6, 8, or whatever. I can't remember the numbers for that card. But for each lightning, you've channeled this combat. Which I imagine is what this would say if it was talking about that. That's strange. I don't understand that. Time Bomb, gain 2 orb slots, channel 2 glass. Glass, I have no passive effect, but when you evoke glass and have more than 3 orb slots, it consumes your leftmost orb slot and evokes the occupying orb. So we'd gain 2 orb slots, so we'd have 5, 6 total. 2 glass, 1 dark. And then we evoke the glass, it removes the back. Evoke the glass, it removes the back. I'll take a Time Bomb, but I'm not happy about it. So we have 2 non-default relics here as well. We have the Ball of Yels from Hubris. Whenever you channel lightning, trigger its passive ability. Yeah. If we were going the Tempest deck, this would make sense. But Darkness is turned up faster, so it's just how that goes. Lantern, gain energy on the first turn of each combat. I'm almost certainly going to take that. And Light Bulb, if you have any unspent energy at the end of your turn, draw that many cards at the start of your next turn. That's not going to be necessary, courtesy of the Runic Pyramid, basically giving us a ridiculous amount of card value by retaining the cards that we don't use. So draw, in particular, is very weak for us. Fusion, to have Plasma, would actually be surprisingly strong for us to give us the extra energy to play all of those cards every single turn. But it would interact with the other Darkness that we're trying to get done. So I think it's Lantern. Hey, Lantern's actually one that I had to get, so I get some gold for picking it up as well. Nice. I think it's Lantern card removal. Survey options also now has art. Cool as hell. I think it did last time I saw it as well, but I just did not mention it. Cool. I'm going to save the rest of the money. It's Time Bomb, dual cast to remove 2 orb slots there, and then Darkness Zap. The reason for that being we are so close to this Dark Orb just destroying every... Yeah, there we go. Boom. Woo! Sword! Hell yeah. Spent like my entire second year of software engineering studying sorting algorithms and stuff like that. I know, that should have been first year. In our first year, they were still like teaching us, this is a computer, this is the tower. And it's like, come on. Who's getting into software engineering that doesn't know what a computer is? Like, skip it. Shuffle all rare or non-status cards, so I have to imagine it gives you a choice. In your discard pile, back into your deck and draw 2 cards. That's the upgrade. Oh, it has retain on its upgrade. All rare or non-status. I don't need to do that. So that's actually super cool in that, like, you can fill your discard with status cards. Like, you can play Overclock, put Burn in your discard. You can play the Turbo, put Void in your discard. Both of those status cards. So Sort would just leave them in the discard pile, and your draw pile becomes your larger. This is a cool idea for a card. It doesn't fit our current build. Darkstone Periapt. Whenever you obtain a curse, increase your max HP by 6. With the ability to retain, this fight becomes a lot easier than it otherwise might have been. Defends, dual cast. If I play Defend, Zap, Darkness... The only way I live here is if I play a Defend and kill the backline sentry. And the only way to do that is by triggering this Dark Orb, despite the fact that I desperately don't want to trigger that one yet. Hang on, if I have more than 3, it will consume my leftmost slot and evoke any non-glass orb occupying it. So I can actually play Darkness, then Zap, and that'll evoke both this Dark Orb and the other Dark Orb, right? Hang on, that actually depends how this works, right? So when this evokes, it is pushed off. So that means another one is on there. So it's actually Zap, then Darkness. So you play Zap, Darkness, the 30 hits the back line. Oh, it doesn't. Never mind. I think we're actually just dead here. Yeah, I screwed that up badly. Yeah. This kind of deck needs way more defensive options. I mean, let's let ourselves die here. There we go. This deck needs, I mean, obviously we're 10 floors in, so of course we don't have everything covered. But this deck needs more defense, or it needs a way to evoke more commonly. If Recursion had shown up, I obviously would have taken it, but it didn't. I'm again gonna go for the random boss relic here, I think. Woo! Runic Dome. At the end of your... gain energy at the start of each turn. You can no longer see enemy intents. Now, every time I get Runic Dome, I make the same, you know, apology. Sorry, 80%. 80%. It's extremely above. But some percentage of viewers aren't going to be interested because they can't see whether or not I'm making the right decisions, so goodbye to those people. I don't say that flippantly. But at the same rate, those who do stay seem to be split as to how they want me to deal with having the Runic Dome. I kind of want your input here. Should I tell you what the enemies are going to do or what they're likely to do, or should I not? Because I've had the complaint, the reason that I don't like it when you get the Runic Dome is because you spend nothing but all of your time talking about what the enemies are going to do. And I've also had the inverse, when I responded to the first by not just going, oh, here's the entire AI pattern for the enemy that I'm about to fight. I I've had people say, I don't like it when you get Reading Tome because you don't tell me what the enemies are going to do. So, what do you want? You gotta tell me, friends. Evoke all of your orbs and draw a card. Evoke can be a downside, so that doesn't necessarily mean this is always pick, like Morning Call in the Servant mod. I'm gonna take Ball Lightning. It's just super value. I am actually going to go for 4 elites on this line, so I may buy 4 potions here. It's extraordinarily unlikely that I do that. Like, it's uncommon, rather, that I do that. I'm just going to quickly save and quit. I hate that Drink and Discard are so close to one another, because I misclick all of the time. Hell yeah. They're buffing, giving themselves Rip Fuel this turn, and then at 6, 9, 12, they're getting 3 strength every single turn, and past that, they're just dealing the remainder in damage. The ones that have obvious patterns, I think I'll describe. Consume is actually one that we have to pick up for 103 gold, so if I take it, I can actually fund the ability to remove it. You can take it. Sure. Just to finish a quest. What are the rest? It's Storm, Skim, Recursion. Well, Storm and Skim I actually may put in this deck legitimately. Recursion doesn't seem to have a space, but we'll see. Storm. Storm costs 39, but it gives me 103 to get, so it's a good sale right there. Storm is also totally reasonably something I might expect to put in this deck. Then card removal on a normal. I don't really want any of the rest of that. I could go 3 elites here, or I could go 2 elites and get two upgrades. 2 elites and 2 upgrades is actually just so much more powerful. The upgrades for the defect early on are pretty ridiculous because getting Zap to be 0 cost and dual cast rather to be 0 cost, both of those are huge priorities. Buff this turn. And then past this, you really don't know what they're doing, so because I'm still going to be in this fight for a while, I'm going to make you both weak and languid. So the incoming damage should be basically 0, but not exactly. And because that weakness, I'm happy to play the occasional skill. Nice. Also helps us kill a turn earlier. Cunning Disguise. This is one of the most interesting relics that I've seen from Hubris so far. Upon pickup, choose another character. On future card reward screens, you have 1 additional card from which to choose, and it will be from that character. So we gotta think, who would synergize with wanting to play a bunch of lightning or a bunch of skills? So I could double tap Ball Lightning, or I could burst the Zap. It seems to me that it's unlikely that Cunning Disguise is going to be viable with the another Ball Lightning, easy. It seems that putting the Mystic in this situation is unlikely to be the correct decision, and that's because the Mystic's spell and art, if you can remember back to the episodes that I did on the Mystic, the spell and art mechanic, I guess I'm going to call it overall, for the Mystic makes it difficult to get Mystic cards to work without other Mystic cards. So it feels like to only have access to 1 Mystic card every selection means that a lot of the time I'm going to go, I'm not going to take that unless I already have this card from the Mystic. And then if the other card shows up, I'm not going to take that unless I already have the other card from the Mystic. And it's less reliable. It's like having Busted Crown starting off with Mystic. So how I've typically used Cunning Disguise is I've looked at my build and I've gone, okay, what card from another class or what class has a strength that I am not currently capitalizing upon? So for example, I had in my own time a silent build. I have a lot more of my own time runs in this modded series, because in the modded series, I'm spending a lot more time like checking the quality of different mods and whether or not I should install them or uninstall them. By the way, if you have a mod for this game and it's not currently installed and you'd like me to show it off, feel free to talk to me about it. But also there are some mods that I'm just not playing because they're imbalanced or they don't really provide anything to my gameplay at the moment. So if yours is not in the current stack, for example, it might be in the future. There's just one mod in particular that had super overpowered like everything, and I was like, I can't do this. Ball lightning, storm. See, the thing is, the cards that benefit me as Defect are so unique to Defect, whereas I've played Silent before and had Footworks, and Footworks was giving me, you know, +3 strength, 3 dex. And then I got the Cunning Disguise, and obviously I immediately took Defect because the Defect has the best block cards in the game. Leap, Charge Battery, Reinforced Body, and pairing those on top of the Silent's ability to gain extra dex is pretty ridiculous. I could put the Construct in here, but I also don't really benefit from anything the Construct does right now. I think it might just be Silent to get access to the Footworks. No, I'm going to do Ironclad, make it aggressive, double tap. Looking for double tap, obviously. Bandana, replay the Spire's Modic, gain 2 Thievery for the first 3 turns of combat every time you deal unblocked, I think it is. For Thievery? No, the tooltip doesn't pop up. I believe it's unblocked attack damage. There it is. Rhapsody steals 2 gold whenever it attacks. Excellent. I thought it was unblocked attack damage, but no. Never mind, I might have been wrong. Actually, you know what? In retrospect, I think I was wrong. Whenever I attack, yeah, specifically attack, so it's only on those. We'll dual cast first to see what's hot. Wow. You really had split the damage like that? Like, wow. I should have Explosive Potion there for the possibility the front line was hit twice with the lightning, but I really didn't expect it was possible, which is why I didn't do it. Yes. Whew. Bias Cognition totally makes its way into Thunder decks because Thunder decks tend to be more aggressive. It's also another power for the Storm. So, at the end of this turn, retain 1 card. Don't care about that. Get a Blankie. That's got to be event specific because these typically tend to be like event and shop and stuff like that. These tend to be collections and these tend to be kills. So no clue what this is. Seven damage. I'm assuming that's going to get hit by a lightning. Popped him. Extremely no on all of those. FTL, how much draw do I have in my deck? 0, so I can just take FTL. It's not like I'm going to draw into it and won't be useful. I'm going to play the Zap specifically because Bias Cognition's still in the deck, so I know that this is actually going to kind of speed up my... Gosh, if I consumed before I zapped, I think I actually would have killed this round. 6 on 21. You know what? I'm just going to throw the Explosive Potion. But I think I would have killed had I done the consume beforehand. I'm not going to calculate it, though. Iron Hammer. During the first turn, drawing a card upgrades it from Replay the Spire. I actually think this is a super interesting card. It's a super interesting card because a lot of the time you'll get cards that they upgrade to become innate. But in the rare case that you have a card that is innate before it upgrades, this just upgrades it for you. It's super easy. And also, you might just want an opening turn that is a bunch of 0-cost cards and draw, especially as the Silent. I like the design of that. Storm, obviously. A Storm deck stacks Storm. That's what a Storm's deck does. Who's our boss? It's Hexaghost. Okay, Storm plus Bias Ignition. We might be in trouble in the boss fight. I'm going to upgrade the Bias Ignition to give myself an extra turn of not being in that much trouble. I've got the Elixir to burn all of the things plus. Hey, look, everything's upgraded. I've got the Elixir to burn all of the burn pluses out of my deck. But we'll see. With the Consume, I'm actually lowering my own orb slots. Yeah, I don't gotta take any of these. See, I also don't want to rest because currently the enemy is just doing 2x6 in terms of its damage, and that's kind of super controllable. I want my defensive options to be better. I am this close to just upgrading a defender. I'm doing it. The defends hit really important breakpoints against the Hexaghost. That's the thing. I think I probably end up using my Dex Potion over this anyway. Hexaghost does nothing on turn 1. Turn 2, it should be using 2x6 for its damage. Woo! That's rough. Yeah, it's 2x6. I can't play Bias Ignition yet. It's just too early. I also don't want to play Consume again. We need the ability to increase our orb slots before we ever play Consume again. Funnily enough, I think the Hexaghost is attacking this turn, but I'm actually just going to exhaust my damage on it. Accepts the 6. There's the Inflame. So this turn is usually like a 7x2, if I recall. Never mind, we're fine. Biased, Zap, Dual Cast, Defend. I mean, with 1, right? The important thing about the Biased Ignition is knowing when to play it, and especially when not to. So Bias Ignition makes sense because of the 2 storms in particular. I really want to play with the upgraded fission, but this makes way more sense. Nuclear Battery. At the start of each combat, gain 1 plasma. Now, the thing is, we actually already have extra energy, courtesy of the Runic Dome, so energy is at a little less of a premium for us. But Sozu and Ectoplasm are also energy, so, you know, like, I'm getting energy no matter what. The Nuclear Battery gives me the ability to not only gain energy, but evoke the plasma to gain extra energy, which means that turns where, you know, I want to play a bunch of Ball Lightnings, I get a bunch of extra energy. So, sure. Like, this fight basically has setup and execution turns, and in the setup turns, this gives us extra energy, and in the execution turns, we don't need the extra energy, so kind of covered. It's too early for Bias Ignition, though. They can do a 21 damage hit. I should have struck there to check the bandana, actually. Hey, I still got money. Okay, so it is not specifically unblocked. Got it. I'm just going to go extremely on offense right now. We need both of those storms upgraded, by the way. This deck isn't really viable without it. We've just been getting lucky and drawing them in their opening hand regardless. No. Interesting. So 149 for Moorbank. So at 12 a pop, it's 5 to get 60. So it's 10, 29 floors. It's just slightly more than that in order to get to make up the amount that I lost on the Moorbank. I hate the Moorbank. A very long time ago, I spoke in the main series about my hatred for the Moorbank. The fact that it doesn't really outweigh its own cost ever. And I was talking about it then from picking it up from a normal location. That is to say, like a normal relic giving location, either fighting an elite or opening a chest. It's so much more obvious in shops that it's never going to outweigh its cost, or rather it's unlikely to outweigh its cost, and if it does, by not much. But the thing that a lot of people missed when I was talking about it from getting it from an elite or getting it from a chest is that it's opportunity cost. It's a relic that for a lot of builds performs absolutely nothing, if not, barely anything, if not absolutely nothing. I'd even be happier to see the Regal Pillow or the Dreamcatcher or the previous version of the Prow Wheel, right? Almost. They're all on kind of the same tier to me. And the fact that they're expanding the category of things, this is in the base game, expanding the category of things that you can get that are just completely null and void. Like, a lot of people like, it's some gold. You can't be annoyed at some gold. Yeah, I can, when some gold is taking the space of a relic that might have actually helped my run. I'm just mad at the Moorbank, and I'm mad that people aren't as mad at the Moorbank as I am. Bargain Bundle is from Replay the Spire. This is a super interesting relic, actually. It's obviously for builds that aren't mine, right? Because typically, I don't pick up a lot of cards. But whenever you purchase this relic, the cost of cards, potions, and card removal service in the same shop is reduced by 100 gold. So you just buy all of the cards, remove a card, and buy all of the potions. It's super cool. I could take Shuriken, but the thing is, like, we do benefit from it, but our lightning does most of our damage versus our actual damage dealing damage. So I don't really want to take that. I think I may actually just remove, maybe take hologram and then leave. Actually just gonna buy a block potion for upcoming elites. Yeah, sure. Damn. We got the Pantograph at the start of boss combat's heal for 25 HP. We also removed another card there, right, for the removal quest. Self-repair wasn't there, heat sinks wasn't there, darkness wasn't there, recursion may have been, skim wasn't. Recursion may have been because I don't remember if I saw recursion there, but all the rest of them I probably would have picked up. We do need to get rid of that Writhe. Our opening hand is extremely important to us, and jeopardizing the value of that is not great. Forcefield comes pre-upgraded, and I have 4 powers in my deck, so especially in the whatever that fight is, I'm going to have just like a really, really good defensive card. Hopefully you're not attacking this turn. Nice, Enfeebling Spores. That means that you are definitely attacking this turn. You're not weakened, and we're in low ascension, so that means 7 by 3, 21 total, so I can defend for 6 with the block potion. I'm fine with gaining a bunch of frailty there. Because I know that I'm about to just, yeah, dunk on the fight. One of those. Pilcrow. Was the model for this updated? I could have sworn that the previous one didn't have wings. Anyway, there you go. Ow. Storm, zap, attack. We definitely need to use the block potion this turn. We're taking more than 12. Yep, that was 20, so it actually defended us a really reasonable amount. Played a lot of skills that turn, so we should be pretty well defended. Only took 8 damage there. I mean, this is an elite, it's worth noting. So, you know, this is still a pretty good performance. Tiger Marble. At the start of each combat, add a random card which exhausts your hand and costs 0 until played. This is, you know, similar to a lot of different effects in the game. Distraction, Infernal Blade, White Noise, the toolbox, you know. So this totally fits in my mind. Like, I don't understand why this isn't a relic that exists in the base game. Maybe I hold a lot of reverence for the base game, but every single time I look at something that's modded, I look at it and go, could I see this in the base game? Like, does this jive with the view of the game that that developers themselves seem to have had, that Megacrit themselves in particular seem to have? And the things that I like the most are the things that either seem like they would fit in the base game, or that I don't understand why the base game hasn't explored. Like the spells and arts in the Mystic in particular. That's cool as hell. It doesn't fit in the base game, like at all, but it fits in card games. And it's like, if another character was made in Slay the Spire, I could totally see it focusing around, you know, having this kind of like half and half dual wield kind of like sword and sorcery kind of build. Anyway, quest logs, nope. Don't need any of those. Heat sinks, ball lightning. I mean, ball lightning comes pre-upgraded. Come on. White noise. Add a random powder card. Hand. It costs 0 this turn. I stand by the assertion that I made. I want to say maybe like 14 episodes after the defect came out that white noise is broken, and it's like super sleeper broken. Because sometimes you play white noise and just wins the game. Now, I have spoken about it since then, that there are nuances that change the value of white noise. Like, some decks don't actually care about a lot of the powers that white noise would generate. Like, I usually look at white noise and go, there's like, I can't remember, but I'm just going to ballpark the figures here because I can't remember it exactly. There's 17 powers in the defect deck, and obviously that's changed by the mods, but still. 17 powers in the defect deck. Like, 4 of them instantly win you the game if you get them off of white noise and they cost 0. Like 10 of them are pretty reasonable. Like, just they provide you something and it's worth 0 energy, right? The upgraded cost of white noise. And then 3 of them are bad. So I usually look at that and go, oh my god, that means on average it's good or amazing, right? Like, on average much better than the average 0 cost card. But on top of that, you also have to consider that some decks have the good cards are typically good for every deck, right? That's like, you know, Buffer, like Echo Form, like those kinds of things. The medium cards sometimes are worse or sometimes better depending on the deck, and then some of the bad cards are completely impossibly incapable of being played in certain decks. So the value of white noise is obviously dependent on your deck. But in this deck, I'm benefited by playing powers. So no matter what noise, what white noise generates, it's generating a power. Also take heat sinks, gets me 97 gold back. Storm and Storm now definitely need to be upgraded. I have enough powers in my deck that it's important. Antivirus software. Every time you shuffle your deck, gain an artifact. Whenever you draw a status, consume an artifact and exhaust it and all other status cards drawn that turn, drawing a card each time. So this is a great way to make Overclock or Turbo ridiculously powerful. So I'm really happy to take 1 Overclock or 1 Turbo. Or even things that just shuffle my deck. I'm gonna Swift Potion here. Do I want Heat Sinks or Storm first? Do I want to draw or generate lightning? I actually want to draw because I'm going to evoke the Plasma Orb this turn, so I'm going to have a lot of energy. Dual cast, hologram, dual cast. Easy. Feed. Unfortunately, my lightning is so much of my damage that I don't think I would ever really trigger the feed. I can get 2 elites, or I can get a nightmare and then 2 rests. Get the 2 elites. Storm. Hello. Ball lightning, hologram, ball lightning. Ouch. We actually managed to kill the backliner there, and as a result, got vulnerable and took a bunch of damage. Yikes. Shelled Parasite is just given us the old what for. Excuse me. Hey, it's Turbo! Do I need the extra energy? FIFO Q is actually super interesting. It becomes X cost. FIFO Q, of course, first in, first out Q, it's data structure. Gain 2x orb slots. So it never gets worse than its initial incarnation. 1 for 2 is like the basic version of that other thing that I can't remember the name of right now. Of Capacitor. I think evoking my orb slots is actually powerful for us. So I think I want Turbo and card draw. Gosh, if I could get Skim, this deck would go off. I'm going to panic button before I generate any lightning. Thankfully, the backliner wasn't attacking that turn, so we don't instantly die. Very much hoping they also aren't attacking this turn. I'm actually going to have to gamble on that, because I think if I play Bias Cognition this early in the fight, I lose. Gremlin Cook. Hello. Should have done the consume before I did anything there, by the way. It's entirely my bad. Thankfully not attacking in the Gremlin Leader again. I'm really hoping the Gremlin Leader's not attacking this turn. I actually think I go ultimately as aggressive as I can get this turn as well. Yes, I know I played those in the wrong order, don't worry. Cool. We actually got the Gremlin Leader down despite all odds. That Void didn't die. It's interesting. Antivirus. Bottled Flurry. This is from Replay the Spire. Okay, I thought most of the new bottles were from Hubris, but interesting. Upon pickup, choose a card. You retain that card at the end of your turn. Hang on, this is Bottled Rain from Hubris. If the card would exhaust due to being ethereal, it is discarded instead. Also a Focus Potion. Take a... I kind of want to take an Auto Shields, but at the same rate, if I hold a Bias Cognition, I can just hold it until the right time and then just pop it. For boss fights in particular, that's important. Heatsink Storm, Storm. White Noise into FIFO Q for way too many orb slots, sure. Bias Cognition. Rainbow Auto Shields, easy. I think you actually can't damage me over the top of that now. Especially now. Cool. Take a charge battery pretty happily there, actually. As much as I want to go to this extra elite, I desperately want to see what that boss is, and I also don't think we are long for this world right now. So Incense Burner, every 6 turns gain intangible. And I'll rest here. So you've got Barricade 25. I don't know what their actions are. I have to imagine the knobs are just doing the typical Gremlin knob actions, but I'm not certain. So I don't know what the Gremlin King is doing, so I can't tell you anything about the Gremlin King, unfortunately. Panic button is not upgraded. Oh, because I didn't draw, quote unquote, draw it, so Iron Hammer didn't upgrade it because it was added to my hand. That makes sense. That's mechanically consistent, don't worry. If we're in this fight for long enough, we just lose, right? So. Damn. Aha, you will never touch me, peasant. You get a strength and 2 decks, and then both of you enraged. That makes sense. Consume. Damn, really wanted some lightning to hit the backline. You Throne Smash for 3 a point. Wow, we just lost most of our HP. Heat Sink Storm. Pretty comfy there. Hey, another Storm and a Bias Ignition. I'll make sure to turbo before I Bias Ignition here so that if I shuffle the deck and draw turbo, we're all happy about it. You're not my bold little flurry target right now, so it's fine. Boost. Okay, so it's 1 strength 2 decks that you get per time of boost. Oh, I know what's happening. Oh. The artifacting that I'm getting from shuffling my deck is actually preventing the downside of the Bias Ignition rather than being there for the void. That's my bad. I'm intangible next turn, thankfully. Okay, this actually seems like a really easy fight. Although it might just be because we have the aggression in our deck to deal with it. Juzu and FTL. I'm going to drop the ability to pick up those 2 because they actually don't fit with my build. Prefetch. Choose a card in your hand. It's innate for the rest of the combat. Oh, so for the next combat, sorry. It's like innate for the rest of the combat. It starts in your hand for the rest of this current combat. It's obviously electrodynamics there, by the way. Upon defeating elites, gain 1 pride. That's annoying. Pride is the curse that puts itself atop your deck unless you cast it. Start each combat with drowning and add a copy of Dave's Revenge to your deck. Sure, that's extra energy that I can use. I don't need the extra energy, but in particular, if I could get Skim, the card that I desperately want, then it would be really good. This is aligned with 2 early shops, both of which I'm going to just to get Skim. Got him. Oh, White Noise just... I went to White Noise just in case I got Self-Repair, because you can get Self-Repair from White Noise. Anything that is a non-infinite source of powers, you can get healing powers from. Typically. I don't want to talk about all the nuances of that because I'll be here for another 20 minutes. Skim upgraded, hell yeah. Was specifically talking about the fact that I desperately wanted Skim. I went on this path just so that I could get Skim as well. That's hilarious. Empowering Shard. For each act you climb, gain 1 strength at the start of each combat. This I mean, it can be reasonable occasionally. But what this is really for is for infinite runs. Clockwise Souvenir at the start of each combat, gain 1 artifact. Seems totally useful to me. Actually, also going to take the Focus Potion. Just for the boss fight. Storm. fetching from the deck. Skim. I hope I get turbo. I didn't get turbo. It's fine. We can bias cognitions out. Hell yeah, I got to keep that turn going. Got him. Easy nose there. Panic button before we draw. Storm before we panic button. Skim assist. Oh, hell yeah. Great FTL. Skim is especially good because it's effectively just upgrading the cards, right? If I draw them on turn 1, they're upgraded, so Skim is just upgrading them on my behalf, effectively. I'm actually intangible next turn, so I actually don't even need to kill any of the targets on the board currently. Because they attack me next turn and I'm fine. Here you go. 2 damage. Oh, not even that. Hell yeah. Consume, biased, biased. Easy. Consume pre-upgraded. We don't have enough slots. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to take Defragment. It's for me, think about it like this. Defragment has 2 lightning orbs. Because obviously both of my storms are going to be out. Specifically, because I've upgraded both of them now, so they're innate. What the hell is this? Paranoia. It's got intangibility for 2 turns. Okay, so it looks like I set up for the first 2 turns. I'm assuming so, because I can't really tell what the Paranoia is actually doing. I don't even get draw this turn. If only I still had my artifacting, I could have prevented all of that. Heat sinks. Defrag. Let me just exhaust that entire hand. Madness for 20, okay. Trying to keep a general idea of what this enemy is doing. Wow, you're not intangible. So, you're intangible just not to lightning damage? That doesn't make sense. I don't think that's how the base game works. Alright. Potion belt. Actually, didn't I have... Must have been the previous run. Charge battery seems useful. Life from limb, as I was calling it in the previous episode. I thought, by the way, a lot of people corrected me and said it's limb from limb. Number 1, yes, you're correct. Number 2, I thought it was weird that it wasn't limb from limb. I was like, the cliche is limb from limb. Why is this called life from limb? Oh well, so I must have just misread it the first time and then never checked again. Well, I kind of just always play the bias cognition now, so I think the thing that I actually want to keep in hand, if it's ethereal, it doesn't burn at the end of the turn, so I can actually get Abe's Revenge to constantly make me frail. Maybe Skim, because Skim, if you have low energy after you already play your entire hand, you want Skim later. I love free actions at campsites. That free with an F. Actions at campsites. It's just super cool. Hey, it's the Balls of Yels! Or Ball of Yels. Whenever you channel a lightning, trigger its passive ability. Cool. I mean, that's extremely good for our deck. I should be very excited, but my brain doesn't cooperate with that at this time of night. All right. Damn! Whoa! Hell yeah! What a hand! Give him a hand! And then I just get to do a totally new hand as well as have antivirus software. Wow. This lightning ball of Yels build is just... feels good. Also intangible this turn, by the way. Just in case you were wondering. Herbal Paste. Start each combat with 3 regen. Regen can go negative. Okay, so this is effectively going to be like the Drowning for me in particular. Ancient Potion, gain 1 artifact, as well as another white noise. You discover a colorful shop with the banner in Spire and walk in to see what's inside. No way, nope, can't let you in. A man with ridiculous clothing appears at the entrance to bar you. This will not do. No, what is this star? Disgusting. Are you bleeding? Gross. Business? Your customer? Fine, whatever. I'm trying to do like a version of Watto's Toydarian from the Star Wars prequels, but not directly Watto's Toydarian from the Star Wars prequels rather. Adjustments, upgrades 2 random cards, remove a card and upgrade a card. Remove a card and upgrade a card actually triggers my remove a card bonus, so hell yeah. Choose a card to remove. I'm thinking Writhe. And White Noise got upgraded, hell yeah. Okay, bye-bye now. Should have punched him. And we'll kill a Nightmare. Nightmares. I think they're attacking on turn 1, so I'm going to play both of my defenses first. Whew! Alright, so Transmutation. I've always thought this, because there are hooks in the base game that make colorless cards insane. In particular, Transmutation, as we'll have a look at it, has colorless cards added to your hand and they cost 0 this turn. But now that colorless cards from Replay the Spire sometimes cost 4, specifically I am talking about the ultimate defense here, that's insane. It's an artifact of Dex, 5 plated armor, and 5 shielding. It just adds like a high roll to the Transmutation that makes Transmutation feel a lot better. So I kind of want to do like a Transmutation Discovery kind of like deck, like just get wacky with it. Here's Sneak, draw 1 card, draw additional cards equal to its cost. But, you know, obviously. Chrysalis, add 3 random skills to your draw pile, they cost 0 this combat. Reboot, Skim, and damn! Those are all ridiculous things to add to me. Death's Touch tries to hit a debuff on me, does not work, because of course it doesn't. Damn it, I ended that turn really, really quickly accidentally. When I dealt a certain amount of damage to the enemy here, they transformed. That's just what they do. So you want to play your defensive cards up front if you can. Hey, fully survived that one and kill him. Got him. Kill the Nightmare. That unlocked Endless. Damn. Okay, I shouldn't have clicked that because that just unlocked the Endless. I'm not doing this as an Endless run. I do not have the time to, frankly. That's my bad. Midas's Touch. Exhaust any number of cards in your hand. Add a random rare card to your hand for each. Innate, Electro. Midas. Exhaust both. Amplify machine learning. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We actually also want Reboot and Deep Breath in our decks so that we can shuffle to gain extra artifact. Like, they just do whatever you want as well as the artifacting, so that's always nice. Hey, there's self-repair. should have played the FTL at the very start there. It's not going to matter because the transient is pretty much not going to deal any damage to us ever, I have to imagine. Yeah. Heat sinks, turbo, zap. Biased cognition, defrag, hello world. I mean, this is going to be a hell of a lot of damage. This ball of Yels is super interesting. Get that early enough, you can make a run around it, but I accidentally made a run around it and then got it. Just like, I can double up on empty bin with the amplifier, so I definitely should do that. Okay. And then I should pretty easily be able to kill next turn. I also now have negative regen, by the way. That's a weird thing. If I didn't have artifacting, would that negative regen have dealt damage to me? Or was that artifacting just preventing the focus down for that turn? I'm assuming the negative regen does damage to you. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe. Good gosh. Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Fine. Either of them should be doing more than 9 damage this turn, so it shouldn't matter who I targeted there, but still. Heat sinks, biased, empty, zap. I do heat sinks first because I have extra energy in my hands, so. Hey, Juzu bracelet. Regular enemy combats are no longer encountered question mark rooms. Multicast. And we'll turn that quest in quickly. Thank you. I'm going to heal back to full when I go into the next combat anyway, so let's upgrade this white noise. I'll use the next elixir just before I shuffle my deck next, because these guys do put dazeds into your deck. Hell yes, consume. Storm, electro. Yeah, it seems pretty good. I'm not getting out of this perfectly anyway, so I'm going to just Midas touch that to see. Damn. Wow, no! I had artifacting that turn. Artifacting intangibility that turn because of the incense burner, so I actually could have gotten out of that perfectly. I screwed it up for myself. That's entirely my bad, and I'm sad about it. Dang it! I actually had perfection, and I gave it up just because I'm a dummy. Oh well. Yeah, this deck is pretty ridiculous. I think that actually would have been able to take out like 820. Cool, and then you're trying to give me rewards, but it doesn't really matter what you give me because I'm not doing infinite. Yin Yang is from Black Mod. It is every 2 turns gain an energy, as well as the Cupcake. Gain energy after each turn. Each turn after 6 cards are played, all cards cost 1 more energy. So it's like a weaker downside of the Velvet Choker. That's more interesting. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I take here because we're done. That's the end of our dungeon. We abandon the run here so that it gives us the defeat screen. I shouldn't have clicked that quest and accepted the don't do endless because this is already way too long. I have to upload this tonight somehow. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody, the name of the game. It's been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves and hopefully we'll see you next time.